Hello viewers across the globe and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be having a topic under numbers and numeration, and the topic is easiest method to write numbers in Word. If you're new to the channel, you're welcome, and if you're part of the subscribers, you're highly welcome back. Now, without further ado, these questions often have numbers in larger form or in smaller form. We're going to take few examples, and we're going to explain them. So we have example. The first one, write in words 6798200431. Now, the next thing to write is solution. Then please leave a line above, and then you write the numbers on the second line. I'll tell you why in no time. And when you're writing the numbers, try to be a bit spacious and legible. So 798200431. The next thing you want to do is to write your place value on each of the number. So we'll start with 1, which is going to be units, and 3 will be tenths, 4 is 100, 0 here is 1,000, then tenths of 1,000, the second 0, and after then we have 100 of 1,000, then we have million, tens of million, 100 of million, then we have billion. Now, after you've written the place value above the numbers, the second thing to do is to count 3 numbers backward and put your comma. Count 3 numbers backward and put your comma. So we have 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3, comma, then 1, 2, 3, and another comma. So make sure you leave a line above, write the numbers on the second line, then count 3 numbers backward and put your comma. So you're going to then write in words according to the commas. The commas separates the numbers such that you write in words correctly. So you then have 6. There was a comma, so you're just going to call 6. Hadn't been we have 2 and 6 before the comma, you would say 26. But since you just have 6 and there is comma, you're just going to have 6. Then you check what was written above 6. If I have 6 and 1, it will be 61. But if I just have 6, it will just be called 6 before the comma. Please pay attention. So now, what do we have here? 6, and what is above 6? B, and B stands for billion. So we'll have 6 billion, after which there was a comma, so you put your comma as well, comma. Now, we have 7, there was no comma. We have 9, there is no comma. We have 8, before we then have a comma. Which means you're going to call all the numbers you have before the comma again. So what are all the numbers I have here? I have 7, 9, 8. So I'm going to call them together. That is 798. The reason why I'm calling the 3 of these numbers are 1, there is a comma after the 8. 2, I would have to call them that way because after 7 there was no comma, after 9 there was no comma, after 8 there was no comma. So I wouldn't be saying 700 million, 9 tenths million, no. I will call all the numbers before the comma together, and I will then call the last place value of the number I called last. I'll take that again. So if this is 798, it will be 798. What is above 8? Million. So I will then say 798 million. Then you put your comma 90-8. So 798 million. I put my comma. Now look here again. 2, there was no comma. 0, there was no comma. 0 again, then we have the comma. So you're going to call all the numbers again before the comma. That is 200. Okay? 200. What is the place value above the last 0 here? 1,000. So you're going to write 200,000. Then you put your comma. Are you paying attention? Then we have 431. There was no comma after 4. There was no comma after 3. We are just going to call everything together, which is going to be what? 431. 431. You're going to stop there with a full stop. You're not to write units. So don't write 431 units. No. Just write 431 and you put your full stop. Is that clear? So let's just do one more example and we're done. Let's take, for instance, example 2. Write 8960004002 in words. And this will be, remember to write your solution. After you must have written that, you're going to leave a line above, and this line above is for your place value. So you start writing from here. Write out the numbers you're given genuinely and make sure you spaced. 0, 4. Okay, that's a 2 over there, right? Good. Now, after you must have written out the number, the next thing is, and I'm sure you observed that there was a space above left. Okay, then you write your place value above. So you're going to have unit, tens, hundred, right? Thousand, tens of thousand, hundred of thousand, million, tens of million, right? Hundred of million, billion, and tens of billion. Okay? So now, I'm sure you can see very well. Okay? Now, you can make yours very spacious so you would have to see them very clearly. Okay, but I don't want it to be too big in a way that it will look like it's so, how do we call it now? It's so much a big deal. So now, I haven't written this the way it ought to be written. The next thing, remember, like I did said above here, you have to count 3 numbers and put your comma. So we're going to do the same thing here too. Count 3 numbers. 1, 2, 3, comma. 1, 2, 3, comma. 1, 2, 3, comma. You stop. 1, 2. There is nothing again, so just stop there. Now the next thing is to begin to write out the numbers according to the comma. So the commas will look like the pause to continue. Just like when you're reading, you would have to pause and continue reading. So in this case, you would have to what? Pause and continue writing. So what do we have before the comma? 89. 89. So you're going to spell 89 this way, EIGHT-NINE. 89. But what was above 9? The last number you called, B, and B stands for billion, so it will be 89 billion. 89 billion. Now, 600 before the comma. So we're going to call all the numbers before the comma. And what are the numbers? 600. So you're just going to write 600. 600 what? What is above the last zero? M, and M stands for million. So it will be 600 million. Then you put your comma. Are you paying attention? You put your comma. Now look here. We have 004. Are you going to say 004,000? No. You will not say that. As long as you have 0, you're not going to call that. You have another 0, you're not going to call that. You just pay attention to the number that is not 0 written. So like in this case, we have 004. So you will not write 004,000. No. You're just going to write what? 4,000. Why? Because you're not going to write anything pertaining to the zeros. Like here, we did not say 600 million. No. We just wrote 600. And we called what was above the last zero, which was M, and that was million. So now we are having 004. So you're not going to write 004 million. No. 004,000 rather. No. You're just going to have what? 4,000. 4,000. And you put your comma. Another thing we have again is 002. You're not going to write 002. You're just going to write 4,000. And since there was nothing, you can see I erased the comma. 4,002. 4,002, because the comma there will no longer make sense. You can have 4,000, 2. So you're going to change that comma to what? And. You're going to change that comma to what? And. So you have 4,002. And that will be the last one. Is that clear? So now I believe you can change numbers to words following the easiest method to writing in words. The first thing to do is to write your solution, leave a line, write out the numbers you're given, and on each of the numbers put your place value. After you must have written your place value, the next thing to do is to count 3 numbers backward and place your comma sign. 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3, comma, 1, 2, 3, comma. Then you begin to write out the numbers according to what is above them. And you would observe the comma as your pause. So 6, comma, which means we're just going to call 6 alone. And not that we're just going to call 6, we'll call 6 with what is above it. So 6 billion, you put your comma. The next thing you have is 798. It should become what? 798, because that was what we had before the comma. So 798. What is above 8? M. So that will be what? 798 million. You write that, 798 million. You put your comma again. Then you call all the numbers again before the comma. And what do we have in this case? 200. And what is above the last 0? 1,000. So you just write 200,000. You put your comma as well. Now, what do we have next? 431. You're going to call them together, which will be what? 431. And that becomes 6,798,200,431. And then we have the tricky one here, which has a couple of zeros in it. And I've explained what to do. You just have the same thing applied here. In this case, we have 2 numbers before the comma. So it's become 89 billion. Then you write all the numbers before the comma again, which is 600 in this case. But what was above the last 0? Million. So it becomes 600 million. You put your comma because there was a comma here. Now we have the tricky part, 004. You're not going to write 004,000. You're just going to write 4,000. You ignore the zeros. Okay, so this is just 4,000. And there was a comma. I placed the comma before. Then I realized that we just have 002 as the last set of numbers. So there is no need to write 4,000, 2. We're just going to write 4,000 and 2 because we are ignoring the zeros. And 2. And that will be a total of 89,600,431,431. 4002. Now the reason why we are not writing the 0, 0 and 2 is that when you have 2, it is the same thing as 0, 2, or even 0, 0, 2, or 0, 0, 0, 2. Is that clear? So, because a whole number can be written in this form, 0, 2, in 0, 2, or 0, 0, 2, or 0, 0, 0, 2. Let's take, for instance, if the numbers are to be written in serial version, like serial numbers. We'll have 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, until we get to 0, 9, then 10. Is that clear? Or if it's going to be up to 100, you can have 0, 0, 1, 0, 0, 2, until you get to 0, 9, 9, and 100. And if it's going to be up to 1,000, you can have 0, 0, 0, 1 until you keep going. So, which means that when you have 0, 0, 0, 2, it's the same thing as 2. Because a whole number can be written as 2, or 0, 2, or 2 over 1, or 2.0. This is in decimal. This is in fraction. This is in serial number. And this is just like your, what's it called now? Your numbers written out. Is that clear? So, I believe each and every one of you have a better understanding of how to write in words now. Do well to like the video if you enjoy content like this, and don't forget to hit the subscription button and turn on the notification bell so you will be notified every day as content will be posted on daily basis. Thank you so much for actively watching, and thank you for your love and support. Make sure you comment where you're watching from. I really need those likes and comments. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Until we see you again, stay safe and enjoy the rest of your day.